Hi everyone, in today's lesson we are going to look at how to convert fractions from mixed to improper, and then from improper back to mixed again. So by the end of today's lesson you should have a good understanding of at least two methods of converting these two fractions. So now, let's say I ask you to change 3 and 1/2 or 3 1/2 to an improper fraction. How would you do it? Now the first method is to draw a diagram or a number line to help you. So we're going to use both number lines and diagrams to help us. So I've got this number line over there, and this will be 3 1/2. Okay, now you notice that each interval is actually a half. Alright, so in between one hole, I have subdivided this into halves. So 0, half, 1, 1 1/2, and it goes on. So I can actually divide my bar into halves. So when I do that, how many halves do I have? So when you count, I have now 7 halves. Let's write it out a little bit. So let's say I have 3 holes. So let me tackle my 3 holes first. 3 holes is actually made up of 2 over 2 plus 2 over 2 plus 2 over 2, because 2 over 2 is 1 hole. So 1 hole, 1 hole, 1 hole, I have 3 holes. So if that's the case, then 3 1/2 is actually equals to 2 over 2 plus 2 over 2 plus 2 over 2 plus my half, and that will give you 7 halves, or 7 out of 2 equal parts. So that's how you actually use a diagram, or you can just simply write it out like that. Now how do I change it back? Let's say I have this improper fraction of 7 halves. I want to change it to a mixed number. So what do I do? Now I use the same concept. If I have this bar, which is 7 halves, so because I have 7 halves, 2 halves will make 1 whole. So remember this, 2 halves will make 1 whole. So how many 2 halves do I have? I've got 1, I've got another one, which is here, and I've got another one, which is here. And then I'm left with my half, which is here. So I've converted my diagram to this. So this, each 2 halves is 1 whole. So I've got 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus my half, and when I add all the whole numbers up, I will get 3 1/2. So that's how I get 3 1/2. Now the second method will be a faster method. So let's see how do I change 3 1/2, again the same problem, to an improper fraction. So now I know that my answer will be a fraction, so let me draw the fraction bar there. My denominator, which is 2, will remain the same. So let me put down my denominator. So what I'm looking for now is my numerator. So to find my numerator, there are 2 steps. So the first step is to multiply. Okay, so I take 2 times 3 will give me 6. Step 2 is to take the 6 from the previous step, add to my numerator, which is 1, and that will give me 7. And so this 7 here will be my numerator. And so that's how you change 3 1/2 into 7 halves. Now let's look at another question. So I want to change 2 3/5 into improper. So first thing, I know my denominator will still be the same. It will be fifths. Alright, now my numerator, 2 methods. Two steps. The first step is to multiply. So I take 5 times 2, and that will give me 10. The second step is to add. So I take 10 plus 3, and that will give me 13. So 2 3/5 will be equal to 13 fifths. Now let's change 7 halves to a mixed number, and I know that it will be a fraction where the denominator is still 2. So let's put that down first. Now the method that we use is division. Okay, so I have 7 divided by 2. I want to know how many 2's go into 7. So I take 7 divide by 2. And if you work it out, it will give you 3 remainder 1. So my 3 will be my 3 wholes. And my remainder 1 will be my 1 on my numerator. And so that's how you use division. Now, not so sure, let's try another question. So remember, when I want to convert an improper to mixed, I use division. So my denominator still remains the same as this. So 5, my 5 will be my denominator. So then now I divide 12 divided by 5. And that will give me 2 minus of remainder 2. So my answer is 2, remainder 2. The answer that I get will be my whole number, which is 2. My remainder will be my numerator. So my answer is 2 and 2/5. So let's do a quick review. Now we have learned that we can convert from improper to mixed and from mixed to improper. And the procedure for mixed to improper is to multiply and add to get your numerator. The procedure for improper to mixed is division, where your answer will be your whole number, your remainder will be your numerator. Now, so which method do you prefer? Do you prefer the model drawing method, or do you prefer the method 2, which is the faster method? And why? Write it down in your video worksheet. Let's talk a little bit about it in class. And now this is for you to try. So again, in your video worksheet, change 9/4 to a mixed number and change 1 3/4 to an improper fraction. You are free to use whichever method you wish, or if you wish to try both methods, you are welcome to do so. See you back in class.